Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I guess all that is to say that I'm happy to be here with y'all, and it's a lot of fun. I look forward to it. I see Shishalden making a little noise, just a little bit south of that, too. Hollister made a little noise. Puerto Rico just bumped a little bit. New Zealand even bumped just a tiny bit, and Hawaii did, too. Nothing huge that's happened. Honshu, near the coast of Honshu, at a 4.7, and everything else has been, threes that I can see in the last 2 hours or 90 minutes. What else? The solar stuff just, the sun's quiet, the world's quiet. Texas is, hey, look, the chicken leg is freaking real. And that Texas liniment is super stinking busy at this moment. I guess defining the Texas liniment would probably would be probably good. If you took the Blanco fracture, which is just north of here, let me make sure that's off, and go to this one. Yeah. Right here's the bottom of the Juan de Fuca, right? Juan de Fuca Ridge. Here's the Blanco fracture zone. This is a strike slip. You can see a strike slip breaking off. Here's the spreading zone. Here's the spreading zone. So these two were once together, but the strike slip has moved it away. That could be that this was pushing or making more seafloor than this. I don't know. But it looks like this has been really broken up, doesn't it? But anyway, for me, I define the Texas liniment off of this Blanco fracture zone. And due to my buddy up there, and it goes right through Corpus Christi. So if you drew a line from there to there, that's kind of that same angle. It might go through Houston, but I think the Corpus Christi is the right one to go. And if you look, here's Corpus Christi. There's a little earthquake, a 2.6. And it goes through the top here of Caracas, and then, just off of Fortenzia, and underneath the Ascension Island, through Botswana, through the southern Indian Ridge, and out here somewhere. That's what I would call the Texas liniment. And it does cross plates, and I believe it to be magnetic. Now, my buddy, your buddy, Canuck, a New Brunswick, Canada guy, I can't even say it, New Brunswick, Canada guy, he might define it just a little hair different, because the other one that comes off the top here at the same angle goes through the Olympic Walla Walla and comes through a little bit north, and that's the one through Puerto Rico and the Ascension and up through maybe even Reunion to this triple junction here. Both of those, in my mind, have been really, 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 really active. I'm seeing trends of quakes happen right across this area, and it's uncanny. Now, there are other ones that we watch, and I'm not sure that they're named, but we watch the one out of Iceland that comes right down the coast, right through Texas, right through Hermosillo. There's Hermosillo right here, right by these little islands, and then out that way, which is right out here where we had all the earthquakes, a bunch of earthquakes. We had some earthquakes out here, and when we first did our first rabbit hole, we were talking about an earthquake that happened south of Tucson in Mexico. It was a 7, and it happened right out here, I believe. And we talked about how the tombstone here, the doctor for, you know, the ERPs. He's also, I guess, some sort of geologist or something. I don't know, but he was interested. He went down here, and also the president of Mexico sent somebody up, and they all kind of met up here, and they saw and found where, that earthquake happened. It crossed this other liniment that comes from Iceland. It comes down the Appalachians and out through these areas here that have been always rocking. And there's a big volcano here too. Goes right through this area through Sonora. Yeah. Yep. And it crisscrosses there. Is it going to create? I mean, we had a 5 here, I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. We had a 5 down in here. And we haven't seen a whole lot of activity down the Gulf of California or Sea of Cortez. But we're seeing earthquakes crisscross in trends. A trend is where you see a line of earthquakes, and it is subjective to some degree. But we're seeing that, and we're noticing that. And it's like, hey, they're happening along these lines for a reason. And part of it, those reasons are those where people are drilling oil, they're doing mining. It seems to be along the lineaments, there are precious materials. What we term as precious, because we're human beings, right? Gotta have that gold. Yep. And they appear to happen. I mean, there's a bunch of, lineaments, but the main lineaments that we watch, and there's several of them. There's ones that come out of the Great Lakes too, and up here and down here, and even out of the Hudson Bay, they come all the way through. Multiple ones. And when we see earthquakes happen, we see them happen along these lines. Say, well, okay, there's an earthquake happened up here. Well, no, there's one that happened here. Wait, there's another one that happened here. Well, the 3 of them together, they show the lineament. So there's physical evidence that something's happening with some physical evidence that they've seen these fault systems that work along the lineaments. And it's like, hey, here's a fault system that works all the way from here to here, and it travels, a couple hundred miles or a couple thousand miles, and then it's not active. Sometimes we see that it is active, but because they appear random, one over here, one over there, one in here, and then they don't see the line, the trends. Those people who are promoting that everything's random. But here at JSL, we get to entertain a little bit more. We get to open up a little bit more and say, hey, this is a possibility, And then we'll look at the historical record showing the earthquakes are happening along these, and then we'll wonder, why is it happening? Will it happen again? And if so, is there a way to not necessarily forecast them, but is there a reason why earthquakes are happening along that fault at specific times? Whether it be a bunch of fires, like what we show here. Like, this is another ongoing observational theory that, the entire British Columbia burning, it's happened other times in history, throughout history, and the major fault right there, that when it has burned, there has been a major earthquake in this section of the world. And it's like, do you just say, that's coinciding, quinkydink, or coincidence, or is that a indicator that there's something else going on, such as fires happening, From dry lightning. Well, what the hell's dry lightning? That's lightning that comes from the ground that shoots up in the sky and there's no clouds. Well, how does that work? Well, there's some sort of ionization or something. We all have different terms for it. The stressing of rocks being compressed, and then when they crack, they ignite and they start a fire. Well, how do they? It's like flint. You rub two things, it snaps and it sparks. Well, it's got to be pretty interesting for that to happen. Yeah, especially when the dirt on top is not as, together as the dirt that's underneath, compressed. But still the same. Or a rock slide and happens, and two rocks combine, they slam each other and they spark something and poof. Or self-combusting plants. Sonny's here. Uh-oh. He's back to get me a kiss. Sonny, did she give you a kiss last night, buddy? Michelle. She's supposed to giving you a kiss. Oh, my boy, Sonny. Michelle was here yesterday. I said, "Give my boy a big kiss and tell him it's from me." She laughed. She said, "I sure will." Always a pleasure to see you, Sonny. He says, "Maybe." That's funny. Anyway, so there are things that Professor Nix afforded us, and the different discussions, the different professors with their different focus on different theories and ideas, and paleontology and the study of rocks and then dates and why they think this, why they think that, and they can only go so far to the ground. What's the oil companies have done, and many of them are employed by the oil companies to check out the data they have and see if there's any oil down there. But in the meantime, they're also noticing, hey, there's something here. Because they can see the faults under the ground, and it seems to be in the faults. There's oil, there's other stuff. It's the different ideas, the different thoughts that we put up. There's another one here too that about weather that we're playing around with, looking at the ions and where the ions come from, and the charged particles, and whether they be positive or negatively charged, what they're doing. They're giving off protons or taking on protons, pressure, down pressure, up pressure, circulations, and originations, and hot spots, and looking at the historical record on all that stuff too, and then taking every little piece and then putting it, seeing where it fits on the big puzzle of this planet and the way it works. That's what we're doing here, and we're okay with thinking some ideas out there. We're okay with putting forth something that is maybe not necessarily right on the money, but it's to expand the thought process without taking drugs, NDEs and all that stuff. That's just bogus. You want to fry your brain, go right ahead. But the beauty of what we're doing here is a lot. It's pretty cool, and I appreciate the opportunity to bring normal people together, because sometimes they think better than the people are so close to the tree they can't see the forest, and the different disciplines that people have, different thought processes. I'm always looking at, when I have a conversation with somebody, to see what deposit is in them, and then sometimes I'll dig it out of them. Sometimes they'll just bring it up already. It's like, bam, oh, okay, yeah, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then sometimes they're just cheap empty suit, and they're looking to be filled, and and I got a shovel, can shove a lot of BS at them, and then see where it goes. Sometimes it takes a little BS for the plants to grow. You got to get the mind working. And hey, we use BS all the time. Well, they call it cow turds, but we use a little BS to plant our food. And food for thought is kind of what I'm trying to get at. But anyway, let's see what the weather's doing. Solar weather. Solar wind is down a bit. It's down about 100 points. 453 kilometers a second. Solar wind. There's no coronal holes to push the wind, so we're like, where? Density, proton density is about almost 6. No solar flares. C1 and C5 over the last 48 hours. Yeah. The Arctic aurora season begins early. A fast stream of solar wind hit the Earth over the weekend, sparking a rare display of August auroras around the Arctic Circle. On Saturday, August 19th, I got to see my first northern lights of the season, said Goran Strawn, who sends us this picture, man. Thank you, Goran. This is a really cool picture. Look at that. I like that. That's a nice pic. You can imagine what I'm saving these. I don't know. I think the place is amazing where we live, and so I'm appreciative to the gifting that everybody has. Sunspots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's the big 8, 34 or 13. I'm waiting to see them determine whether or not if it's radical or if it's not radical. Radical being off kilter a little bit. And it appears they all are stable. So they're not unstable, so they're not radical. So we have a bunch of them, but everything looks good. So no more flares right at the moment. Let's see here. The KP index is really low. It's 3-ish. You can see this is a solar flare, right? Boom. See how it twists and turns and goes in and out, comes back to the sun. That was a C5. Yeah. Wow. Harold Pulaski. Thank you, Harold. Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. There are 11 fireballs over North America yesterday. Not a whole lot. 15% chance for Class M, 1% for NEX. That should tell you something. We're not seeing a whole lot of activity. Geomatic storm probabilities 15% in the mid latitudes and the upper latitudes. Of that 15%, 5% would be a chance for a minor, 1% for a severe. So there's really, not going to happen in mid latitudes. The upper latitudes be 20% of either minor or severe if the 15% hit. So of the 15% chance to hit, 20% chance if it does hit would be a minor or severe. 2,349 FAAs, or potentially hazardous asteroids, out there. Those are asteroids that are a football field size or larger, moving around our planet within the distance of 5% from the Earth toward the sun. And it does cross that path, then it's going to be potentially hazardous asteroid. There's 2,349 of them right now that we're watching. They find them all the time, right? Because they're looking all the time. And they're like, woo! You're right. I remember seeing, earlier this year, a rock that came through our atmosphere between the moon and the Earth, and it was 1/4 of a mile wide. And they never saw it until it was passing us. I said, whoa. Whoo. Alrighty. Today being August 22, there are 2 rocks. One is about 168 feet across, traveling at 7 kilometers a second, and it's 9.5 lunar distances away. We don't have a measuring stick, so we're looking for that distance. That's 5% distance from the Earth toward the sun. That's about 19.5 lunar distances. So this one's 9.5. Okay, so it's pretty close to us. And yeah, the next one is about 45 feet across, traveling at 4.5 kilometers a second, and it's 13.5 distances away. Earth to the moon times multiplied by 13.5. That's what that means. All right, let's look at LASCO, see if there's any little off the sun. This is the sun looking at, we got a little something there, huh? Boom. Ooh, it just happened. Bam, right there. Look at that. 928. Let's see here at 928, looking at what's this one here? It's at 10:30. That's at 9. So somewhere in here maybe. 928. So, hey. Right now we're at 15:30, but this one here. All right. Right. I'm seeing if it was a blast at us or a blast away from us. It looks to me like it might be away. All right. Let's look at this one. Wow, check that out. It's broken up. We lose time there. It jumped 3 hours, jumped 3 hours, jumped 3 hours. Yeah, man, this thing's jumping major hours. If you look just here at the time, 3, 6, 9, 15. Yeah, that's like 6 hours at last jump, right? I like how this thing is squirrely Q on us. Is it that thing too? Is that what that is? Now this one you can see it's kind of cool looking. A little brighter here. Something got brighter and shot out. Fart in the wind. Okay, let's look at the tremors. We already looked at the tremors last night. Remember, if you're not here in the mornings and you want to see the morning report or listen to it while you're at work, the podcast is available. It'll start being available on the other social media sites soon. I've been remiss kind of trying to focus on making everything legal and everything like that. Now that I don't know, I have to check YouTube, see if they broke me again, because I'm using that song now and the other one too when I video edit. Still have to make the introduction of what JSL's about, but we'll do that. I'm going to add that to the mix, and we'll be uploading those videos daily to places that, because there's no tremors, by the way. But last night's what brought it to mind. There was no tremors last night. We do this now about 6 p.m., between 6 and 7 p.m. on Monday through Friday as a follow-up report, an evening report. It's a much shorter than the morning report, just so you're aware. It'll just be what happened during the day, a recap, So we found out yesterday there's none, and this runs every 24 hours, and there's nothing. So that's why I brought that up. Looking at the buoys, see if there's any drunk Chinamen out there, and I don't see any in this ocean. And following up, nothing out here. Nada. How about some Ruskies? Usually the Ruskies are up here. No, I don't see any. Periodically, I see them around England, but I haven't seen that, or the UK. I haven't seen it, so hey, But yeah. Let's see. Go on to the next thing. Here's your planets. See what's going on. We went through this already. Most of the planets are on the right side of the sun. Mars is the only one on the other side. And then you have Sirius, Haumea, and Makemake that are non-planets, but they are large bodies that are solidified, traveling around the sun. To me, they're all planets. I forget what they call it, an exoplanet or something. I don't remember, but put it down there in the comments down below there, or in chat, and tell everybody what it is, because I don't remember and I don't care. Here's the volcano news today, according to Volcano Discovery. Today, August 22, 2023. I thought we were the 23rd already. Wow. Orangutan volcano Reventador, Mayon, Ubinas, Nevada del Ruiz, Sebencaya, Ebico, and Suno-Zajima. That's not to say they're the only ones that are happening, but these are the ones that Volcano Discovery has made newsworthy. Nevada del Ruiz there in Colombia. Pow, pow, pow. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Orangutan is up there by Halamarahara, and 18,000 feet. That's a good little popper, everybody. So Orangutan, here's the area that's been super freaking busy. Orangutan is right up in here in this island right here. We have Ibu and Dakono right here, and we got Orangutan right here. All right. See that little island right there, little teardrop. Yeah. So if we looked at the teardrop right there, that's Orangutan, right? And this island, or this region here, if I do the 7 days, I'll show you how freaking busy it is, right? Yeah. The whole area is just swarming with a teeming with energy. Yeah. And we'll go back to this one. But today there was in a Molucca Sea at 4.7. So a popper out of Orangutan, and Orangutan is basically a 5,800 foot mountain, and it popped to 18,000 feet. That's a 13,000 foot ash plume out the top of it. Tim did it. Mom. It's always Tim. Ubinas, down in Peru, southern Peru. 2 volcanic alerts were issued yesterday. He's there. Good morning, Tim. There were 2 explosive eruptions at Ubinas, triggered a volcanic alert. Columns of ash went 3,500 meters above this volcano summit. The eruption occurred at 1:41 and 9:18. Mayon volcano over there in the Philippines. Let's see here. Unknown, but it's because it's cloudy. Ubinus again, 23,000. And I think Ubinus is not a very big mountain. It is 18, sorry. 18 going to 23. I was thinking somewhere else. Sabancaya, which is right next to it, about 500 miles or less, 22,000 feet. It's a 19,000 foot mountain, Sabancaya. Tsunozajima, over there in Japan, the bottom of one of the major islands, about to 7,000 feet. So Tsunozajima, here's the Japan mainland, if you want to call it that. It's all islands, but right here in this island is Tsunozajima. That's popping to 7,000. It's not a very big mountain, but it's 5,000-6,000 foot pop. Mayon volcano again over there in the Philippines. Unknown. It's popping, and they hear it. They just can't see it. There's so much crap in the air. Ubinus, sporadic emissions at 20,000. It's 2,000 foot pop. Ubinus. Ebico up there in Kamchatka, the bottom island in Kamchatka, 15,000 feet. And it's not a very tall mountain. Yeah, 3,700 foot. Right at the bottom of Kamchatka. Sabancaya again, 24 from a 19. So the ash is popping, going, 5,000 feet up, almost a mile high. Can you imagine? You're out camping, fishing, and you hear a rumble, and you look like, what the hell's that? Then you hear the concussion, bang, and just over your head, the mountain just popped, and ash flies straight up in the air, and lightning and thunders and crackling, and it's like, you're a couple of miles from it going, oh. Yeah. What you gonna do when they come for you, bad boy? Get down the mountain real quick. You think about those poor people in Japan. Think about it. They're having their little, dinner with the chopsticks. That's hard enough as it is. Or they'll, soup or whatever. And then that little mountain goes kaboom. And they look out the window and they go, as the glass rattles, being 15 miles away, and they see this thing just go kabam. Oh. And they get so used to it because it does it almost every day. It's like, how do you get used to something like that? I don't know. Volcanic activity worldwide. That was the report this morning. So trying to put things in perspective, help you understand those people who live at the base of a volcano or near a volcano. Yeah. Far out, man. Just far out. And I don't want to say it like that. I want to say it like, yeah, watch what happens pretty soon. Something's going to happen, and it's not going to be real nice. But there's a chance for people to escape it, and that's what we pray for. So we watch these things too, and we see it start to happen, and we start to pray and say, the loss of life, we don't want it to happen, but they live at the bottom of a volcano or on top of a fault. Their stuff's gonna happen, and some things are ordained that, hey, yeah, it's gonna happen. Things are already in motion. Things are gonna happen, and you want to get out the way, and get out the way, like the song says. But we have the opportunity to pray for them. But anyway, what else? Yeah, the funky storm that came through here in NOAA. that thing's gone. I think it's way up in Canada now. But Harold it became a tropical storm. It came across, and boom, now it's hitting the coast. Yeah. 50 miles an hour. Yep. Tropical storm. Harold. I don't want to whistle. Almost whistle. Whoa. Franklin. 50 miles an hour. Another one coming in. Every time I think of Franklin, I think of not Ben, but I think in what's that movie? The Postman, not the Postman, but he played a postman, or a fake one anyway. And the young kid says, "My name is Lincoln Mercury Ford." But every time I see Franklin, I think about that young kid saying what his name was after the world has been devastated by wars. It was a post-apocalyptic movie. Who was in that? I forget what it's. He played a postman, but in fact, he wasn't a postman. He was just a guy that liked the idea of being a postman because it had satchel and he had importance, and he was traveling and then would reach into his pocket and travel with that satchel. Obviously the postman had already died, and he just carried on the duties, and brought some hope to a hopeless group of people. I don't know what that movie is called, but anyway, it's same player. He played a golf expert and a spy, and Dancers with Wolves. He was in that one too. I just can't think of his name for some reason, but anyway, that was the movie. And every time I see Franklin, I think of that young man said, "My name's Lincoln Mercury Ford," because he was homeless and parents are gone, and he lived in an old car dealership. Lincoln Mercury Ford dealership. Yeah. Post-apocalyptic, remember. Flutter's got something. Oh, Kevin Costner. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, sweetie. What's she got? Geology Hub. I don't want to put the sound on it. Mount Churchill, Alaska, erupted, whatever. And, all right. Mount Churchill, Mount Rainier used to be 16,000 feet tall. Oh yeah, it blew its top. Yeah, that's Geology Hub, people. You can enjoy them. We have a couple more. There's GERT. I don't know why, there's Myrtle. I know there's Girdle, but there's an old name. I think they'd call somebody Gert or Mert. I think it's Gert. I heard my great-grandparents mentioning that name. Now, I know Gert something else, but I think it's spelled differently. But anyway, so Gert is 30 miles an hour. No chance in the next 48 for this one to create itself, so it's nothing. And then there's 40 hours at 20% on this one. That would be what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yeah, 5. Far out. Gert, you knew a few as well. I think it's a southern thing. Gertrude. Yeah. Thank you, Denise. And Tim. Yeah. Remember my great-grandparents, Yeah. But, yeah. Let's see here. What's left? Current status of storms. We'll take a look at the COD right now. Things moved way the hell up here. And here's that other tropical storm. It started over Florida, and it went sped up and ran into southern central Mexico there. or Texas. Freudian, right? Here's the dirty. Lots of wind, Corpus Christi. Lots of rain, Corpus Christi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wonder why that lineament's active, huh? You can see it right through there. Yeah. Ooh. Big boy. There you go. Storm coming in from the Pacific, pushing this sucker eastward. And there's still a little monsoonal moisture. Today, my place is sunny as all get up. It's going to get hot. And I think it will be. Yeah, so that storm, I think that's where it is right now. Was it Saskatchewan? It's Alberta. That's BC. I don't know what that one's called. Yeah, I don't know what that one's called. Quebec's over here, but anyway, it's Canada. Commuland. Commuland. There you go. There's Commuland right there. I'm teasing you. Don't worry. Don't get buttered. And lots of weather. Man, it moved quick. What? Look. Watch this sucker. That one was pretty cool. Oh man, boys with toys. I know, right? Storms love the lineaments. I know, right? Oh, your best friend is named Gert. Okay, cool. Right on there, bud. You know Gertie from E.T. Television show E.T. Entertainment Tonight, or E.T. A movie, or yeah, all right, alrighty then. The 80s movie. I think I didn't see it until the 2000s maybe, and I don't think I've seen the whole movie. Is that weird? Everybody loves E.T. and it's like, I was never into it. Probably because I've always known it's a governmental mind wash of you to think there's ETs out there. Extraterrestrials that walk on two legs, have two arms and two eyes and noses and ears, and they see in our spectrum. And they got cone heads, and they're green or blue or purple or gray. They got bug eyes. What a fantasy you have. You might as well be a transgender. But you can't say that. Be nice to the transgenders. They're like the aliens. You know, they need respect. Anyway, so this is all that's going on. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Yeah, you're younger than me. No gender pretenders. Yeah. Whatever. You said it. Anyway, what else? What else we have? We can take a look at the latest earthquakes on USGS, and you can see there's just not a lot of them being reported. We have one over here in the Andes of Chile, a 4.6. Interesting one down here in New Zealand, a 4.6. Like, why is it happening out here? We've had a few on the island, islands. Also, we've had a couple in the Kermitics, 4.9 to 4.6. Relatively 356 deep on that one, and that one's shallow. This Tonga, or Fiji, south of Fiji, it happened 8:21, yesterday. 548 depth. Yeah, kilometers. That's way down there, baby. And it's like, what is it that it's hitting, or something's hitting, that's 548 kilometers down there? That's like into the upper mantle? Is it this Pacific Ocean? Or is it a hot spot? You see this Louisville Ridge right here? It comes right up through here, right through there, and continues. A little offset right there, but it virtually continues. And yet, there's the rise right here as well. Yeah. What are your thoughts? Papua New Guinea popped in here with a 4.4. Behind Timor, 4.4. This is where the 7.6 hit. Or late last year. And then, of course, we talked about the Indonesia quake 4.6 right here, Halmahera and, Sulawesi. Then up in Japan, the northern or one of the northern islands here near the east coast, if we zoom in, is just offshore. All right, and 4.7. Some of these areas here are the ones that got so impacted by that tsunami. And we've watched that several times. What else? We can go up into Alaska, a whole bunch of little ones up into Alaska. Hawaii still bouncing around a little bit, 2.2s. March Air Force Reserve. Hey, that's where I was born. Yeah. Well, there's Lake Paris. There's March Air Force Base right there. Yeah. And San Jacinto's got a couple little bangers. Hemet up there by my buddy. I mean, these are really small. These are just little, little. Loma Linda had a 2.4. And San Andreas rocks up that way. This is the San Jacinto Fault. This is the Elsinore Fault. And we just had a little squeaker. This is where the 5.1 hit, and you can see right now there are 30 quakes still showing, so it's still swarming. What are your thoughts about the swarm? What do you think is going on? Is it just aftershocks? Gotta wonder. And what else? A little bit up in San Francisco, north of San Francisco, up here where they burn all the turd. Yeah, that's right. They pump your sewage right into the ground and they heat it up and you wonder why they're killing cows or saying no to cows when these guys pump all that crap down into the ground and it lights up. A lot of methane, I think. A lot of methane. Whoa, a whole lot of methane. Hey, man, that's a song. A whole lot of methane going on. Whatever. Hubba. Too funny. Yeah. This is one of the largest not hydro, it's not even water, it's thermal plants in the world that they pump a bunch of turd down in the ground, light it on fire, and then the steam comes up and they create electricity. Yep, here comes the guys now. And we have a little Fort 3.3 off Petrolia, also Ferndale had a 2.3, and then up here by Reading, 2.1, and then Reno said hello. a little tick. A little bit of activity coming into the park. You see this? Yeah. This is one that registered though, 2.1. And if we looked at Yellowstone here, looking for the red, and you can see it's been a minute. You know, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Yeah, there was run full of red. Don't worry about it. Well, I think, yeah. And the only other quake we have that we hadn't talked about is this one in central Turkey. So, that all being said, that's the morning report. And we'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. That's right. Remember, have a plan. Don't get scared. Be prepared. We'll try to give you the warnings we can do here on JSL, and we'll try to help you if you need help. Trying to educate you so you're not so afraid, you know. Perfect love cast out all fear, and we love you, and just know that the Lord loves you too. And all right, I'm gonna post this on the morning report over at YouTube. The old JSL will be used for the other stuff, you know, all the fun stuff. But we do have a channel now that is strictly for JSL's reports. If you don't have that, let me see if I can get that for you. If not, I'll try to find it for you. You know, big hugs. I'm Joe. I'm out. Don't get none on you.